Hi, my name is Allie Dawson. I graduated from Carlisle High School in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I am attending Pennsylvania State University and I am currently a junior. What I thought college would be you were on your own pretty much. You were going to class and then you had a scary professor who handed you this paper with all these assignments and said, all right, here you go. Come to class and turn in all these assignments and hopefully you can get it done. So it was a pretty nerve-wracking experience for me. But when I actually got to college, it was completely different from that. Yes, they handed you a syllabus, but my professors told me, come to me with any help that you need. I want you to succeed. I want you to do a good job. And the assignments were designed to help you learn and further progress in your potential field of expertise. So I knew that going into college, I would be better prepared for my future career as a teacher. For all the future high schoolers who are going to college, I would definitely say don't be nervous. Be a little bit nervous, but don't let it overcome you. I struggled a lot in high school. I didn't think that I would be smart enough to go to college and that it would be completely different and the academics would be 10 times harder and it would be scary and there would be no help for you and going to seek help was a sign of weakness. Don't see it that way at all. Trust me, going to seek people for help is one of the things that everybody does. Everybody has difficulty in a subject. Everybody has difficulty with a class. It's not a bad thing to want to get help. Making new friends is hard, but it's also easy if you find a club and a niche. If you have an interest, like you love a certain sport, there is a club at Penn State that has a sport. There's over thousands of organizations that fit all of your interests. And don't do what I did my freshman year and isolate yourself. Go out there, do something. And I know it's scary and it's weird and you're like, I don't want to be that weird kid who goes out there and says hi to any random person that they meet, but do it. Say hi to somebody because it's worth it. That's how I got to meet some of my great friends, is just by noticing that they had an interest in something. If you like to go to Starbucks, there's a Starbucks somewhere located near your campus. If you like to play games and board games, there's probably a club out there. Don't be nervous and talk to your professors. Really make a connection with one of your professors because in the end, especially when you're about to graduate, they're really going to help you and make a difference, especially if you want to go to grad school or med school or law school. They will really help you out. So my biggest advice is be a little nervous, but don't let it overcome you, and definitely go out there and just be that, you know, you might think you're being dorky, but really you're making a huge difference in your social life just by saying hi to somebody, because it might turn out to be your best friend.
My name is Jake McCrae. I was born in Monterey, California, and I am attending Virginia Tech as a freshman in general engineering. I went to Trinity High School in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania for 4 years. And when I started going to Virginia Tech, I thought it was going to be like very work intensive because of all the engineering studies, and I'd heard that this is one of the majors where you'd have like no social life and you're always in the library, and that I heard that everything was just going to be all on you. But when I got there, I really discovered that there's actually a lot of different people you can go to. You actually have a lot of free time, and basically there's no shortage of help if you ever need it. And what you really decide is all up to you. Nobody's going to be there to tell you what else to do. It's a big transition between high school and college. I felt like my school prepared me really well with AP classes and everything. School was very structured, but then when you get to college, you discover that everything isn't really structured and you have a lot of free time. Even as an engineer, I find that I have so much free time on my hands, even with my classwork. So really trying to find out what to do with that free time, whether to study or if I need to take a break, or just trying to set into a routine of when to do the different things that I need, such as like laundry and everything. That's really important. How you really discover how to use your free time will be the key to whether you succeed or you may need a little extra help in college.
My name is Sean McCrae. I am a senior chemical engineering major at Penn State University. I went to James I. O'Neill High School in Highland Falls, New York for the first 2 years of high school, and then transferred to Trinity High School in Camp Hill for the last 2 years. And going to college, I thought it was going to be a ridiculous amount of work. My only friend was going to be like people in my major, in my classes, and I'd be spending all my time studying in the library, in the study lounges, and never really have any time to see what other things college had to offer being an engineer. It actually turned out to be the opposite. My classes take up a small amount of my time compared to the amount of clubs that I'm in and the amount of activities that I'm involved in. I managed to take a couple days off every weekend just to relax and hang out with my friends because personally I need that break from my schoolwork and it really helps kind of keep me balanced. I guess my biggest piece of advice would be don't overload yourself your first semester of college. A lot of clubs do actively try to recruit freshmen in the fall semester, but they also do recruit freshmen in the spring. So your first semester, I would say just try to get used to the workload of college because it does get a little overwhelming at first. Not really having people push you to complete assignments on time, it's all really up to you. And then after that, you can start to get involved because you'll see after one semester you have a lot more free time than you thought you did have. And then once you get to that point, really just, my friends and I all agree, the more you stay busy, the more focused you are, and the more you have to actually set aside time to do your homework. And when you actually have to physically set aside time to actually do your assignments, it really keeps you from getting on the internet because you know you only have a certain amount of time to get certain assignments done.
And I'm currently a freshman attending the University of Pittsburgh. I moved from Carlisle after my senior year to Hawaii, and I moved with my family to Hawaii over the summer and flew back to Hawaii before college started. So that's where I'll be going for Christmas breaks and for summer vacation.
Okay, then now I want you to talk about what you thought.
For me, I think the biggest piece of advice I could offer would be to get a lot of sleep. I have not been getting that much sleep, and it's probably just because it's college. There's always going to be something going on, and people who, I mean, you want to do everything, but you need to take time to stop and get rest because that's really important. And while I'm not currently following that advice, I think it would help a lot.
I'm Robert McDonough. I graduated from Carlisle High School in 2013, and I'm currently a sophomore music education and music performance major at SUNY Fredonia. I think my best advice when transitioning from high school to college would be to just kind of put yourself out there when you get there. Don't stand in the corner and wait for everything to come to you. You need to go out there and find everything for yourself because nobody's going to sit there and hand you everything that you want. You need to go out and you need to work for it, and it's going to be worth everything. You're going to have a great time.
My name is Clay Kuhn. I'm a freshman at Allegheny College. I graduated from Schaefer American High School in Belgium. When I originally went to college, I thought that it would be a long party, just goofing off, hanging out with friends and everything, but it's very serious. If you mess around, then you'll fall behind quickly. My best advice for an incoming college freshman would be to keep an open mind, be willing to meet new people, and try new things. When you come in, there's going to be a lot of people you've never met before. You're going to be forced to live with people you've never met, and if you just give them the cold shoulder and shut them out, then you're going to be miserable the next 4 years of your college life.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Andrew Baxter. I graduated from high school in Heidelberg High School in Germany, and now I attend the University of Pittsburgh. I'm currently a junior at the University of Pittsburgh studying economics with a minor in statistics. A little bit about myself. I do ROTC, Naval ROTC there, and it's through Carnegie Mellon University. So this will be my third year. I'll be submitting my package of what I want to do in the Navy at the end of my junior year. So pretty excited about that. Other aspects, I'm a member of a fraternity on campus, the Kappa Sigma fraternity, and that's something that I joined last year in the fall, and I found it to be very rewarding. As far as what I expected college to be like coming out of high school, it's kind of interesting because you never really, there's no way to really prepare yourself. You can listen to as many stories from your friends as possible, but there's obviously the social aspect and then the actual academic aspect. And I walked in knowing that college was going to be a very social atmosphere, but you really can't grasp the freedom until you realize it. You really can do whatever you want as long as you're willing to pay or receive the consequences. So that's something that I can't stress enough. And as far as the educational side goes, in high school, I'm sure a lot of you are going to be this way too. I was kind of a floater. You do your work, but you're not really pushing yourself to as far as you can go. And college is extremely different because you can't float. There's no way to push to just make it through. You got to really fight, and you got to really learn how to study and really learn how to master the material. So that's an important lesson that I think I took away in my 2.5 years so far.
Hi, my name is Nick Baxter, his brother. I graduated from Urbana High School in Frederick, Maryland, and I now attend Clemson University. I'm a freshman now, and I'm planning to study bioengineering and maybe move on to pre-med and go to medical school, but not really sure yet. Like him, I am also involved in the fraternity life. I pledged Delta Chi in the fall, and still part of that process. What I thought college was going to be like was kind of like high school. In high school, I never really had to study for tests. Everything kind of came easy. But I was completely shocked when I went to high school. When I went to college, I completely had to change my study habits. I thought I would never see the inside of the library, but that's like where I am a lot. And staying up till 2 a.m., finishing lab reports, which is kind of rough. But at the same time, the social aspect, like he said, is a lot of fun. You'll meet so many new people, all the people on your floor. I became best friends within a week with eight guys on my floor, and it was an awesome experience. And like he said, the independence is a great part of it. I never really realized how essential that would be to your life as a college student.
Okay, so you're about to graduate from high school, and this is really important. You're going to go off on your own to college, and you're going to be really responsible for your own well-being and what your experience. You yourself are responsible for it. And what I would encourage is for you to day one, boots on the ground, get out and just start introducing yourselves to people. Introduce yourselves to the important people on campus, the leaders of clubs, the leaders of organizations, and really try to get involved, get your foot in the door. Because it's easy to just stay in your room and kind of watch Netflix all day, but that's not going to lead to a very rewarding experience. And it'll lead to bigger regrets as you're later in college, and you realize that you're not as well connected as some of these kids because they go out. But I think as military kids, we have a huge advantage over other kids when this is their first time away from home or the first time on their own having to make new friends. So I think this is a huge advantage for us, and I found it helped me a lot vice versus my peers. So definitely get out there, meet as many people as you can. Try to get as involved in as many clubs and stuff that interests you without spreading yourself too thin. That's also important to consider. But yeah, that would be my advice. Get out there and really get involved in organizations and clubs.
Yes, socially I would definitely agree. Just go out and meet as many people. It helps so much. Like, you may feel awkward at first, but you have to realize that every other freshman is in the same situation as you. Maybe some schools, they came with a few friends, but most of the time people come to college to go out and meet new friends, find out who they really are. And so you just have to go and introduce yourself. You have literally nothing to lose, only like relationships to gain. And that would be socially, like, I would leave my door open. Like, I thought it was crazy. Someone told me to do that my freshman year. But for the first 2 weeks, I just left my door open. I meet everyone on my hall. I became good friends with a lot of them. And it was really good advice for me. And also, academically, I would definitely work on changing your study habits. Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just changing your study habits. Like, the social part can be a lot of fun, and you definitely want to concentrate on that for the first couple weeks, because you won't have that much homework, or you won't even have class for the first week. But definitely work on going to the library, like right after class, and then you have more free time later. You don't have to stress about things.
All right, my name is Jonathan Mundell. I graduated from Carlisle High School in 2014. I currently go to Capital University. I play lacrosse there, and I'm an ROTC cadet. I'll graduate in the class of 2018. I thought college was going to be extremely similar to high school. That was a terrible assumption. I actually think that the relationship between preschool and high school is more relatable than high school and college. College is you're gaining many responsibilities, and you're much more independent than you were in high school. You have to take advantage of your time, and your schedule is always going to be filled up. A very simple concept that will help you in college is just reading and writing. If you read and write every day, I think you'll be an extremely successful college student. It doesn't matter what your major is, you're going to have to be able to present ideas to other people. You're going to have to be able to communicate. If you read and write, it'll take you a long way in college. My senior year in high school, my parents made sure that I was just given a lot of freedom. it's an overwhelming amount of freedom that you're going to get in college because your mother and father won't be there every second of the day to observe your actions. So when you go to college, you'll just be overwhelmed with the amount of freedom.
All right. My name is Matthew Herron. I went to Bruton High School in Williamsburg, Virginia. I currently attend Virginia Tech, and I'm a member of the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets. Definitely set your goals early. Know what you want to get into. Find something that you're passionate about. Be interested in what you study. You know, don't just do something because someone tells you to. You will hate it forever if you do not love what you do. And I'm a political science major myself, and I love it. I love everything about it. So when you actually enjoy what you're doing, you know, it beats, you know, having to wake up every day that early and just hating life. So it's.
Hi, my name is Megan Herron. I went to Bruton High School in Williamsburg, Virginia, and I am a junior at James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia. I'm a graphic design major, and so when I went into college, I thought that it would be all fun and I would have lots of friends and I would be doing what I love to do, which is art. But when I got there, I don't drink. So when I got there, I didn't really make many friends, and I wasn't very close to my roommate, nor anybody in my dorm for that matter. So on the weekends, they would all go out, whereas I would stay in. And so I wasn't really making any friends, and I felt pretty lonely, which was very different than what I expected when I was coming in. So I joined a sorority, and I thought that that would help, and it really just made matters worse. So by junior year, I decided to quit the sorority and to just kind of stop lying to myself and find what I really enjoyed to do, which was I joined a Christian organization, and I became really good friends with the girls in my small group. I decided to move out of my apartment with girls that I really didn't have much in common with, and I moved into a big house full of 7 girls, and these 7 girls are some of my best friends at JMU. So since I decided to quit everything that I really wasn't enjoying and forcing myself to like, you know, my experience has gotten so much better, and I really am glad that I decided to stop what I was not enjoying and just figure out what my niche was in college. And since then, it's gotten so much better. I have a job now in my major, and that's been great. I've been excelling in that a lot, and I've been making friends in that, whereas in my sorority, I was paying a lot of money to be friends with girls I just really wasn't friends with in the first place. Just some advice I'd like to give is to go in and be yourself. Don't try to relate to the stigma or be someone you're not. That's what I did, and I think that had I done differently my freshman year, I may have enjoyed it a lot more. So just go in and find something that you know you'll love, rather than go in and do something that everybody else is doing.
I'm Jacob Chambers. I go to Louisiana Tech University in Ruston, Louisiana. I graduated high school in 2013 from Leesville High School. My major is a kinesiology clinical, which is a pre-physical therapy / occupational therapist. Right now I am in my 2nd year of college. I enjoy it because of the core system that is implied at Tech. For students going into college, enjoy it. You only get 4 years of it. Go out, have fun. Make sure you do study and all that good stuff, and just make sure that you keep your grades, happy parents, and then everything's all good. Parents, you got to just make sure that you kind of let your kids have an independent life in college, making sure that you're not breathing down their neck and treating it like almost like a high school again.
My name is Zach Dawson. I am a graduate of Carlisle High School, which is in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I am currently a senior at Penn State, and what I thought college was going to be like. I really didn't have a grand idea of what I thought college was going to be. I didn't really come in with a lot of expectations. I figured it'd be a lot of hard work. Really, the only thing I had to base it off of was high school experience. So I expected classes at regular times, teachers kind of standing over your shoulder, reminding you of assignments, keeping you on top of your test schedule, very organized activities, and that is it's a transition. There's not a whole lot in your high school experience that's going to prepare you for that shift into college. It's going to be very much a learning experience. What it actually is, more than anything, is kind of a very safe environment to start being an adult. You're going to have scheduled classes, but you're not going to have nearly as many. You're going to have a lot more free time, or you think you're going to have a lot more free time, but really what you have is a lot of opportunity to schedule your time to best prepare you for success in your classes. Really, the transition from high school to college is really a transition from your teachers making sure they educate you to the responsibility lying on your shoulders to educate yourself. So really it was a lot more your own schedule, your own, where do you want to eat, what time do you eat, making sure that you actually eat, getting the sleep you need. And really, if I had to summarize it, I would say the transition from high school to college is really the transition from, here's your schedule and this is what you need to learn, to set your own schedule, figure out what you want to learn, and do everything that you need to do to make sure that you succeed. The transition from high school to college, what can you do to become a little bit more prepared? For one thing, that last summer, the summer between your senior year and your freshman year of college, don't try to save the world or anything during that last summer. Really take your time off, enjoy it, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends before everybody fragments off and starts doing their own thing. You're in, congratulations, go do what you need to do. Enjoy yourself. What you can be doing, though, in that interim is there are a few practical things that I think will really help you. If you're not good at writing or you don't enjoy it, get good at it. Figure out a way to enjoy it. You're good at writing 5-paragraph essays by now. You've had years of practice at it, but you might not be the best at writing emails, doing technical communication. You might not have a resume. You might not know how to write a resume. All of that is online. Figure out how to do that. That's going to help you just a ton in the long run. If you're in a science major and want to get into a lab, you're going to need to send that professor a resume or something professional so that they know that you're going to take it seriously. Other skills that you might, let's see, what else? Learn to write professionally. That's something that you're going to need. Figure out how to budget your time. That's going to be huge. In high school, you've had your day pretty much set up for you. You get to class 8 in the morning, you leave at 3, you do practices until 5, go home, get dinner, do your homework, and then just keep on cycling through. In college, your classes, you can schedule when you want to have classes. So if you don't want to have classes at 8 in the morning, your freshman year, you'll probably have classes at 8 in the morning, but once you get priority scheduling as an upperclassman, you don't have to have classes at 8 in the morning. So figure out how you operate, what's going to be best for you. Figure out when you study best, when you do your homework best. Are you somebody who likes to work on everything a little bit at a time, or do you like lots of planning and then executing an entire project in a 1 or 2 day span? Nothing is necessarily right or wrong. It's only whether or not it works better or worse for you. So figure out what type of learner you are, what type of studier you are, and that's going to help you in the long run. And the final thing for making the transition from high school to college is just accept that you're finally leaving, whatever high school you were at. Maybe you were in the same school system your whole life. Maybe you've been in the same high school for the past 4 years, but you're leaving that behind now. And it's a hard thing for sure, but you're also moving into really great opportunities. So don't isolate yourself. Don't hole up in your dorm room. Don't just go to class and go back home and do your work and never see anybody. You're not going to get anything out of college if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't ask your professors for extra opportunities, if you don't try to get into a research lab or go out and do some kind of volunteer work or study abroad or say hi to a random person on the bus. If you put yourself out there, then you're going to get a lot more out of the next 4 years.
Hi, I'm Anna Rapp. I'm a sophomore at West Point, and I graduated from Bishop Ireton High School in Arlington, Virginia. When I was applying to West Point, I had a pretty good idea of what West Point would entail. I knew that there was going to be a lot of physical and mental stress on me a lot of the time. What I wasn't really prepared for was how much of that stress there was. It's not unreasonable amount, but there's a lot of time commitments that I wasn't really prepared for. I was a straight A student in high school, and I didn't really have to work a lot for it. So, and I know that a lot of the students up at West Point are the same way, that they would just go through their classes, do homework occasionally, didn't have to really study for tests. That's different at West Point. You have to really work hard to, there's hours of homework a night, depending on the class load, of course. And I think a really important transition factor is learning that you're not going to be able, it's not going to be handed to you. So I think it's important that you practice those study skills a little bit while in high school. Even though you may not need them, practice setting aside an hour or so to look over reading material, or practice how you're going to take your notes in college, because that's also really helpful. And I think another interesting transition is the fact that now you are completely on your own. In high school, I had my mom at least breathing down my neck about different essays that were due, or making sure that I was getting to the gym on time. And your mom's not in college. So it's important that you kind of take control of your own schedule and know, okay, I have an essay coming up in a few days. I should probably get started on it if I don't want to spend the whole night before writing it. So I would just think about those things, especially if you're like it's your senior year, or even the first few years of high school. Just kind of be thinking about those things in the back of your mind and think about how you would react if you, just how you would manage your time if you were kind of put some stress on it and if your mom wasn't there over your shoulder.
Howdy, my name is Charlotte Hammer. I graduated from Carlisle High School and I attend Texas A&M University. I'm a freshman down there. College, I guess I didn't have a lot of expectations for college. I knew it was going to be a lot harder. I knew that going to a big school, I was going to have about 300 people in all of my freshman level classes, which which was actually true, 200 or 300 people. So I expected a lot of lecture style classes, which is not really what high school is like. You have it a little bit depending on your teachers, but for the most part, the teachers teach directly to you. There's a lot of student-teacher interaction, and when you go to college, that essentially stops. If you really want to have a really good student-teacher interaction, you have to go to your teacher's office hours, you have to talk to him one-on-one, send emails, all that kind of stuff. That I personally didn't do, but I know a lot of people that did do it, and it really benefited them because they were able to, if they had questions on homework, instead of scrounging around and trying to find different people that had done that question on the homework, they were really able to get it taught to them from the source, which is always the best idea when you're trying to solve a problem. That's always the best idea, is to get your answers from the source, or the steps on how to solve something from the source. For a good transition into college, I would recommend learning how to study now. Studying is really important in college because you have the material taught to you on a PowerPoint or in a lecture. Sometimes professors don't use PowerPoints, and then that's it. That's the only time you'll ever go over that material again. Sometimes some professors have a review before the test. Especially, I'm an engineer, so a lot of my classes are math-based, so they'll go over some of the concepts that we learned. But for the most part, you get it taught once, you have your homework, and then that's it. So learning how to study, learning how to retain the information that you've learned, going through, writing your notes out in class or typing them, and then going back and color coding your notes, or going back and typing them and then handwriting them, just learning how to retain the information was the best possible idea. I am not particularly good at that, but I know that when I study with other people, so when I do my homework with other people, you can bounce ideas off of each other, and if you don't know one particular question, or if you don't know how to solve one particular question, you can ask the person or people you're studying with, and if someone can explain it to you, then you will remember it way better than just having it taught to you in class. So I definitely recommend studying with other people, going through your notes every night or like every other night, because you only have class every other day. Just going through it on your off days so that when you go back to class the next day, you kind of remember what you had learned, so that when you start new concepts, the old concepts are still in your mind.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Copeland and I graduated from Carlisle High School in 2011 and I'm currently class of 2015 senior at Allegheny College. My biggest advice that I always give high schoolers going into college is to keep the long view in mind. Right now, as a high school senior, you may not think that you want to pursue law school or graduate school or apply for a Rhodes Scholarship or something like that. But in the future, if you decide you want to pursue something like that, your grades are going to be important. The amount of extracurriculars you're involved in, and not just the amount of extracurriculars you're involved in, but if you were passionate about those extracurriculars you were involved in and you made a difference, those things are going to be really important. So I don't want to say that you need to have everything figured out because nobody does. You know, I'm sure if I were to reflect on this 50 years from now, I would say, you know, wow, I didn't have any idea what was coming next in my life. But definitely keep your options open by being involved in extracurriculars you're passionate about and focusing on your academics.
I'm Michaela Copeland. I graduated from Carlisle High School and now I'm a freshman at Vassar College. Okay. I just recently made the transition from high school to college, so I don't know that I can really evaluate how my expectations differed from reality because I don't even know if I allowed myself to make too many expectations going in. But if anything, college has really exceeded what I even dreamed that it could be in terms of the opportunities that I've had and the friends that I've made right off the bat, just by letting myself really enjoy the moment and take all the opportunities that came to me. If I could give myself advice, if I could give past me some advice before I went into this college application process, before I went into the college search, it would be, and it sounds trite, but you will end up at a place that's right for you. And if you don't, you can always transfer. It's not a binding contract. You're allowed to decide that a college isn't right for you and move somewhere else. But more than likelier than not, you're going to find a place that you're happy. And even if you don't think that that's the place, when you get in, once you get there and you meet the people and you start taking classes and you find all the opportunities that are available for you, it's going to seem more and more like home, and it's going to seem more and more like the place that you're supposed to be. So just relax and have faith that it'll all work out, which is easier said than done, but coming from the other side of it, it happens.
My name's Kyle French. I graduated from Leesville High School. I go to West Point and I'm a junior. So biggest piece of advice going from high school to college is time management. That is the biggest thing I had trouble with going into a college environment where my mom was not pressuring me to do homework all the time. You have to be disciplined enough to make sure you sit down, do your homework, get what you need to get done, and then have fun after that. But you really need to work on time management to be successful in college.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Pinnell. I graduated from Captain John L. Chapin High School in El Paso, Texas. I currently go to the University of Texas at Austin, in Austin, Texas, and I'm a junior. I think the best thing you can do in high school to prepare yourself for college is be ready to ask for help. One of the biggest things that I've seen some of my friends do, especially a few of my friends who ended up having to drop out, was they were too proud to ask for help. You know, I went to high school with a guy named Zach who got 5s on all his AP tests, was one of the highest scoring SAT guys I've ever seen, always got straight A's, was almost the valedictorian of our class, and he made it through that first year and then flunked. It only happened because he was too proud to ask for help. His entire ethos was based on, I am the smartest guy in the room, I don't ever have to ask for help. And by contrast, I was maybe a low A, high B student in high school, and now I'm going to one of the top business schools in the country simply because I was able to ask for help. I was strong enough to admit, you know, I don't know everything. I can never know anything. But if I ask for help from people who do know stuff and I offer to help them out, not only will you make more friends, but you'll get further in school than you ever thought you could.
So hello, I'm Janie Haseman. For my first years of high school, I went to Shape American High School in Belgium, and for my second two, I went to Carlisle High School here in Carlisle. I'm part of the dual BA program between Sciences Po and Columbia University, and I'm a freshman this year in that program. Don't be nervous about applying to college. Our experiences as military kids are really different, and it'll really help you not only in applying to college, but also in the transition as a whole. So don't worry about it. Be excited. Wherever you're meant to be, you'll end up there. So